Triathlete Suzanne Chandler was born in Vancouver, Canada, but moved to Australia at the age of 23. With a swimming and running background, she fell in love with triathlon when she was introduced to the sport by a teacher in senior high school. And from there, a world champion was born. The Central Coast mother of two won her first world title in 2009 on the Gold Coast in the 35 to 39 age group. She also won in 2014 and again in 2022. Now, 14 years after that first world title win, Suzanne has gone back to back with another win in Spain. Definitely getting better with age, Suzanne Chandler.
Spent the first 23 years in Vancouver, and then I moved across to Australia. I ended up dating the boy next door who was Australian, and we went on a holiday down here, and he decided he wasn't going back. And next thing I know, I was back down with a working holiday visa, and then he proposed to me about the year when it was finishing up, and yep, the rest is history. We've been here ever since. I swam for about 14 years, played soccer, and then finished up probably end of high school and into university running. I had a scholarship to the University of Hawaii, so I did cross country there for a few years. The last year of high school, our teacher decided to put on a triathlon, and I really enjoyed it. And then from there, I did a couple of years once I graduated from high school, and then took it up in Alice Springs, which was the first place that we lived in when we moved to Australia. It was good. I actually was the sprint champion for the Northern Territory. It was a great way of getting to meet people. My husband was a struggling pilot at the time, so there were a lot of other people that were trying to make it into the flying industry. And no, I enjoyed it. It was lovely. 2009, that was up in the Gold Coast. And my sister actually won her age group as well, and that was a really special moment because my parents were there. My kids and my husband were there, so that was the first one. Well, it was in Pontevedra in Spain. There are 5 others from the coast that joined me, which made it a little more relaxing, a little more enjoyable leading up to it. And in the race, I was first out of the water. Second place caught me on the last lap of the bike, but I repassed her, and I didn't see her again until about the second last lap of the run. She passed me, and by that point, I knew I needed to be picking it up. That was part of our race plan. And about 1K to go, I thought, well, this is it. You know, I took the momentum, I'd repassed her, and it was a 1K sprint for the finish. And it worked out well. But leading to this, I had hamstring issues. So even about 6 weeks out, I spent about 3 weeks pool running and then sort of got on top of it. So it wasn't the lead up that I wanted. So I knew coming into the race that the run was going to be a little bit tougher. I wasn't quite at the peak that I'd been the previous year, but I have a fantastic physio, Russell Wright, and you know, he just keeps managing to help me get to that start line. Well, my coach, Ken Kirk, we had a plan. I actually executed the plan. I knew coming out of the swim what I had to do on the bike, and always in the run, it's like what I have left in the last 2K. And I just gave it my all. Ended up on the podium, on the top of the podium. Actually, this is number 4, but I suppose I also won the super sprint, so that's 5 world championship titles from about starting in 2009. So, yeah, I've had a few years of not being on the podium. 2 years in a row, I've been 4th. And it, you know, it just drives you. You go back, you try and figure out what you can do better, you know, what what needed to change, and one thing I've really focused on was the biking, and to make sure that that I'm not coasting anywhere, that I'm working hard, especially in areas, like leading into the dismount line, through technical sections, making sure I keep my tempo up and not ease off. So there's been little things that I've been working on to try and get that gain. In fact, I actually think the consistency in biking has come from doing those pie rides, and also the hills were very helpful because this was a hilly course in Spain. But definitely, it's a good group of people I ride with. The same with the people I train with in the Central Coast Triathlon Club. There's so much support. You don't need to be a world champion to be part of these clubs, etc. And I just enjoy seeing people improve.